This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so that is a multi-factor authentication. Okay, so we are going to deal with it today actually. Okay, so before going to the multi-factor authentication, do you know what is multi-factor authentication? Anyone, we can like unmute yourself and tell me. So what is the yeah, go ahead, Manish. Yes.
So basically, it's like when you're trying to access something, like it will send you a authentication code to like whatever you have set it up, and it's verified with that code. So basically, it's a way of sending a security code to a device for a more security.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I mean, we all doing the banking transactions, right? So when we, I mean, have anyone noticed like while logging into the our net banking, right? If you take any banking services net banking website, when you try to log in, how will you log into the net banking? Like we will be using our customer ID as well as the password, right? So after typing the password, it will be sending the one-time passcode to your mobile, right? So that is known as the multi-factor authentication. Even when we are booking some like tickets to a movie theater or something like that. So when we do, I mean, when we are paying our transaction, right? Like, I mean, when we are doing our like, I mean, when we are doing the payment, it will send a OTP to your mobile phone, right? So that will also taking as a multi-factor authentication actually. Okay, so the multi-factor authentication, right? Oh, sorry, let me share my screen and then we can start it. Okay. Okay. Can anyone confirm? Can you able to see my screen, right? Okay. Yes. Okay. I think yes. Okay. Yeah. So here, I mean, in multi-factor authentication, right? Like there are three things are there. Okay. So one is knowledge. So knowledge is nothing but something you know, right? Something you know. So what will be the case which we are using for MFA? Something you know. I mean, something you know means like your one-time passcode, your debit card PIN number, right? When you like swiping the debit card or credit card, you will be providing the 4-digit PIN, right? So that will also taking as a multi-factor authentication. That is something you know, like the digital certificates. When we are going to like, I mean, if you are going for IT infrastructure or something like that, you will get to know what is a digital certificate actually. Okay, so that digital certificates will be also used as a multi-factor authentication. After typing a username and password, you will be like, it will automatically take your certificate which is already automatically installed in your laptop or desktop like that actually. Okay, so that is also will be taking as a MFA, but that will be comes under something you know actually, because that certificate will be assigned to you only. So that is something you know. Okay, so next one is that possession. Okay, that is something you have. Okay? Something you have. Okay, so what will be the something you have? Do you know like hardware token or something like that? Have you remember what is? Okay, so do you know? I mean, let me go some kind of images actually. So here, do you like anyone seen this actually? Like anywhere this kind of a token?
Yes.
Yes. So this will be also considered as a, I mean, like when you are receiving OTP passcode in your one-time passcode in your mobile phone, right? So similarly, this will be like a hardware token actually. So this hardware token, it will be, I mean, you will be getting this digital screen actually. So in that digital screen, you will be getting the 6-digit passcode. So after 30 seconds, right, it will change to the next passcode. So every 30 seconds or 60 seconds, this passcode will get changed actually. So this hardware, right, that is the hardware which has been installed in this particular token. So automatically this 6-digit passcode, it will get changed every 30 seconds actually. Okay, so this is kind of a older kind of a version actually. Okay, older kind of a version, but it will be considered as a something you have, because you are having this RSA token or some kind of a hardware token actually. Okay, so this will be considered as something you have. But the main consideration, right, so this is a something you have, right? So this will be the main part of MFA, because we will be using this as a, I mean, oftenly, like if you go for any organization, right? This, I mean, not, I'm saying this kind of a hardware token they will be using, but nowadays, right, they will be using the software tokens actually. Okay, software kind of a token like this actually. Okay, so like this, I kind of a mobile application you will be. So do you know what? Do you know like Microsoft Authenticator app actually?
Yes.
Yeah, so in Authenticator app, it will be providing a 6-digit passcode, right? So that is known as a software token. So this hardware token, right? It's kind of a older version actually. Okay, it's kind of out of date. I mean, it's also more cost actually. I mean, this is like a expensive method, and it is not available in India actually. So if Indian people wants to acquire this kind of means, I mean, you should have to like, I mean, the organization which they have to order it from the, I mean, this is the RSA company organization. Actually, they have to order it with the RSA, and that RSA, right? It's available in EMEA location, that is a Europe location, or they are available in America location. So they have to like export that token into the India location. So I mean, it will be like hard to get it actually. So it's a more cost, and then it is hard to get for a, I mean, if it is another location, right, it will be hard to get it actually. Okay, so that is why, I mean, it's, I mean, maybe if you take a 5 years before or 6 years before, right? So these hardware tokens are in a like, I mean, demand kind of thing actually. But nowadays, right, I mean, like 2 years before or 1.5 years or 2 years before means this kind of a MFA comes into the picture actually. Okay, like Microsoft Authenticator app, they are the first one, they have introduced this kind of a software, I mean, like MFA method. So that means you will be receiving a 60-digit passcode in your mobile application itself. Like, I mean, they will be partner this MFA, right? We will be, I mean, like lot of organization, they will be partnered with some kind of a MFA providing solution actually, like Duo MFA, Microsoft Authenticator is there, Ping ID is there. Okay, so they will be partnering the solution with them actually, and then the users can able to install it in their iOS devices or Android devices actually. Okay, basically. So once they install, right, they will be automatically getting the 60-digit passcode in their mobile phone. So that is something you have it actually. Okay, so the last one is that something inherent. So do you know what is inherent actually? Something you are like, I mean, have you noticed in some kind of like vault or some kind of, I mean, some kind of a person fingerprint will be there, right? I mean, apart from the PIN code or password or something like that, they have to provide their biometrics, like our retina eye scanner or fingerprint kind of thing. I mean, in our mobile phone itself, we are all using the Face ID as well as the fingerprint, right? So similarly, in MFA also, right, this kind of organization, they will be enabling the biometrics also, like the fingerprint. Even this kind of a mobile application, right? Even if you take a Duo MFA or Microsoft Authenticator or I mean like a Ping ID MFA, right? They will also enable. We can also enable the biometrics. That means you can able to authenticate with your fingerprint also. Okay. I mean, not you don't need to type your 6-digit passcode which is available in your mobile app. Okay, you don't need to type that actually. You can basically you can give your fingerprint sensor, and then you can able to like, I mean, do the MFA actually. So that is kind of a new. Okay, I mean, there are like advantages as well as the disadvantages are there in biometrics. Actually, basically, you need like, I mean, proper internet connection should be available in your mobile phone actually. But for 6-digit passcode, right, you don't require the internet to be switched on actually. But for fingerprint sensor or I mean, there is one more authentication known as the adaptive authentication. Okay, you can also say it as a not as a adaptive. We can say push notification actually. Okay, we will come back to the adaptive authentication later. So push notification is nothing but this is a new feature actually. Like nowadays we are all getting this kind of a push notification. I mean, MFA actually. Okay. So have you noticed? I mean, if you are using a OnePlus mobile or iPhone, like a premium version of flagship mobiles are there, right? So for those kind of a mobiles, there is a one option to enable the push notification. That means, let me show you one more example. So here, this kind of a push authentication, it's a normal authentication for every mobiles actually. It will be available in every kind of a mobiles. Okay. But one more authentication mechanism is that this kind of a push authentication. One is you need to swipe up to like provide your MFA authentication, or else one more thing, it's available only in some kind of iOS, Apple, or some kind of like a premium kind of a mobiles like OnePlus or Samsung, like that actually. So they will be, if you like locked, if your mobile in lockdown, not in lockdown actually, if your mobile in locked state or something like that, it will throw some kind of notification like this actually. Okay, so you can swipe down and then approve your request actually. Okay, so this kind of a mechanism, right? It won't be available when you are using a lower version of Android OS or lower version of iOS. So, iOS, I think every version it will work actually, but if you are using Android, right, it won't be available that much. It won't be available in the lower versions or like lower mobile phones like that. So it will be available only in the premium mobiles actually. Okay, so this is a push notification. It's a kind of a new authentication mechanism nowadays. Like all the peoples are using it actually. Okay, so this kind of a push notification. Okay, so if you take a Duo MFA, right? If you take a Duo MFA, push notification also will be there actually. Okay, so like this kind of accept or reject actually. This kind of accept or reject. I think sorry for that. So like this approve or deny. This kind of push notification will be coming as a MFA. Okay, so shall we start for the MFA mechanism? Okay. So today, in our in our training session, right, we are going to enable the Duo MFA actually. Okay, we are going to enable the Duo MFA. Basically, it's a extra adapter actually. We are going to use it for a MFA actually. Okay. So first of all, open another tab. Okay, open another tab in Google. Okay, type Duo MFA login. Okay, you can click on this first link. I will paste you this one in the chat box. Okay, and then go back to that. So there is a free trial. You can able to create a 30 days free license for that. Okay, create a free trial here. Okay, you need to sign up. Actually, like the Zogo mail address which you have created, right? You can able to give that one. Okay, like you can give that information. Okay, like I gave that Zogo mail, right? We all created a Zogo mail account, right? So use that one. Okay, can use this one. Okay, give the company name as test Zogo. Okay. Okay, just a normal, just me. Okay, you can have to finish the registration actually. It's basically like normal. Okay, so I'm not a robot. Start my free trial. Okay, so it will create account actually. Okay, so yeah. So here, once you create an account, it will send the mail to the Zogo mail. Which you have used to register actually. Okay, go back to the Zogo mail. You will be receiving the link. Okay. Okay, oh, I already logged in. Sorry. Okay, I think I already logged in. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, go back to the notification. So here you could see, right, I have received this mail actually. Okay, click on the verify your email. Again, it will ask me to, okay, so I'm the owner of this one. So get started. Okay, need to create a, I think it should be 12 characters long actually. Okay, give the password, register. Okay, so here you can skip it actually. Okay, you don't need to like as of now for admin login, right, you don't need to enable the MFA actually. Okay, so here, okay, it will ask to like verify. You can verify it. Okay, given okay, okay, verify it. Again, I will log into the console. So you have to log in with the email address which you have registered, and then the password which you have created now. Okay, it will ask me to text again actually. So this is basically MFA actually. So this is basically the MFA, something you know actually. That's a knowledge. Okay. So now here when you log into the console, right? So this will be the Duo MFA. So you can enable the MFA for series of applications, like lot of applications will be there. You can enable MFA for lot of applications. So here in this like search, right? So you can click on the ping Federate. Okay. So ping Federate will be default. Like ping Federate as a dealer dealing with the Duo actually, basically. So you don't need to like worry about it actually. You can directly enable the MFA for the ping Federate. Okay. So here, ping Federate, once you search for the ping Federate, there will be an option known as protect. Okay. Click on the protect here. Choose the protect option. So here, as of now, you don't need to like, no thanks actually. So here there are three options which they will be giving: the client ID, client secret, API hostname. So based on these three information, right, we will be configuring these three information into the ping Federate. Okay. So then only you can able to enable the Duo MFA actually. Okay. So like ping Federate and then the Duo MFA, right, will be able to communicate with each other. So that like for every authentication, it will throw an MFA authentication for the users actually. Okay. So the first of all, what you need to do, you have to go with the Duo MFA and then register with your Zogo mail address and then create an account and log into that account. Okay, search for the ping Federate application, click on the protect, and you will get all the details like client ID, client secret, and API hostname. So as of now, it will be easy to configure. But the thing is that you have to configure the same thing into the ping Federate. Then only you can able to establish the communication between the ping Federate as well as the MFA portal. Okay, so that the users will get MFA actually. So how can we enable the how can we enable the this kind of a communication actually, basically? Okay, so there is there is a way actually. So that is known as the adapter. Okay, so here if you go to the ping Federate, so since it is a new version, right? So I think for the new version, we are using the new version of the ping Federate. I think in the new version they have removed that Duo adapter actually. Okay, so here if you go to the IDP adapters, okay, if you go to the IDP adapters, create a new instance. In the type, I think there is no MFA adapter actually. So there is no Duo security adapter. So I think they have removed that adapter from the ping Federate. Okay, for the new version. So that is not a problem actually. I will tell you how to do it. Okay, again, now go back to open another tab. Okay, so here we have to create an adapter actually. Okay, so that means we need to download that JSON file from the ping Federate and upload it into our ping Federate. That's all. Okay, so type ping Federate downloads. So where you download that ping Federate, right? So go back to that same page, ping Federate download, the first link. Okay, go back to the ping Federate again. So here there is an option known as add-ons. Okay, I will paste this link again in the chat. So here, listen carefully. So here there is an add-ons button is there, right? Click on the add-ons button here. Okay, so click on the add-ons button. So if you scroll down, you could see the Duo security integration kit. You can able to see that Duo security integration kit. I will be copying this link and then paste you in the chat. Okay. Now, Duo security integration kit 3. There are two versions will be there. Older version we don't require. So the new version has been there, right? Click on this one. Okay. So it will ask you to log into the ping Federate console. You already created an account, right? So you can use the existing account to do it. Okay, so now once you gave the account, it has been downloaded here. Okay, you could see, right? Go back to the downloads folder, which here I have. Okay, copy this one and paste it somewhere else. Okay, right click. So here extract all. Okay, just extract it. Okay, and then so now we have we have downloaded that extraction actually, that is a zip file, and then I have extracted that one. Okay, so double click on that folder. So here distribution, ping Federate, server, default, conf. So there are 3 files will be there. So we need to copy paste the file into our ping Federate installed folder. Okay, so conf, what are the files? So in conf, language packs is there, right? Go back. Okay, so one file is there. Okay, now I need to go back to the ping Federate installed folder, program files, okay, ping identity, ping Federate, server, the same location, server, default, conf, language packs. So under the language packs, I mean, this file is there, right? So I need to copy and paste it here, okay? So I have so now I have pasted this file, okay? Now what is the next file? Okay, go back. So here deploy, right? Conf is done, now deploy. So this one is there. Copy this one and go back. What is that? Default, deploy folder. Okay, paste this one. Continue. So it requires administrator actor to do, administrator access to copy this one. So this one has been done. So I have provided in the deploy folder because it's already in the deploy folder. Okay. Next, library. So here, copy this one again, server default library, right? Again, go back to your install folder, default library. But here, if you scroll down, what is the file name here? pf-authn-api, right? So here pf- so here you could write 1.0.66, right? The same version which is already available in that, because it's a new version which is already there actually. So here it's already there, right? You don't need to like copy paste this folder file actually. You don't require this one, okay? So as of now, this is fine. Now what I need to do, go back to the services, okay? Go back to the ping Federate service. So here, go back to the ping Federate service, restart the service, because since, whatever we did in the background, right? So we need to restart the service to reflect the change actually, okay? So now we have added one adapter into our ping Federate installed folder. So to reflect in the admin console, we would require to restart the service actually. So I'm restarting the services, okay? Restarting the services. So it will take a couple of minutes to restart it. Yeah, okay, I think it got restarted. Okay, let me go back to the console and refresh it. Okay, wait for it to get refresh. Load again. Okay, still okay, now it got restarted. Okay, so log in again. Okay, now it's done. So now here, if you go to the authentication, so now if you go to the IDP adapters, same again, authentication, IDP adapters. Okay, create a new instance. Okay, so if you scroll down, you can able to see the Duo security adapter, right? Previously it wasn't there, so now we can able to see the Duo security adapter. Choose the Duo security adapter, give the name as Duo. Okay, click on next. So as of now you are following, right? You are following me, right? Any doubts, guys, till now? No, right? Okay, yes. So now here, what is it asking? Client ID, client secret, and API hostname. So these three things it is asking, right? So what are the three things we can able to get it from the Duo console, right? Client ID, client secret, API hostname. Client ID, client secret, API hostname. Okay, copy this client ID. So copy this carefully, or else it won't work. Okay, copy this. Okay, and then paste it here. Okay, and then what is the client secret? Click to view. Loading, copy this. Okay, let me paste in the notepad so that okay, copying this, paste it here. Go back to the ping Federate, paste here. Okay, and what is the host name? Oh, sorry, go back to the Duo MFA, copy the host name and paste it here. That's all. Okay, failure mode will be secure. Okay, so these three things I have configured. Click on next. So here the core contract will be the subject, so let it be there. Okay, so this subject, right, it will be automatically connect to the username of the first adapter. Actually, I will tell you how to configure that. Okay, click on next. So here subject will be acting as a pseudonym, that is the primary attribute. Okay, click on next. Okay, we don't need to any kind of extend the contract. Okay, click on next. Okay, scroll down and save it. Now we have configured the duo adapter also. Okay, so now I mean basically this duo, right? Duo adapter is only like a MFA adapter. Okay, it won't get the username and password from the user. Just enable the MFA for a particular user. So if we want to enable the if you want to get the username and password from the user, means we would require the first factor adapter, right? So that means we are going to enable the duo adapter as a second factor authentication. That means as a second authentication, okay, not as a first authentication. Okay, first authentication will be like a username and password. Okay, even if you take a ICICI net banking or any other net banking sites, right? The first of all username and password you will be typing, but after that you will be typing. You will be getting the one-time passcode as a second factor authentication only, not as a first factor, right? So similarly, we are going to enable the HTML form adapter or HTTP adapter as a first factor authentication. So after getting the username and password, it will be, after it is successful, it will redirect the user to the MFA adapter. Okay. Now, so here go to the application SP connection. So here we need to configure it in any of the applications actually. Okay, because if you want to use that adapter in any configuration, means you need to map the adapter in that SP configurations, right? Because if I want to use a HTML adapter, means I need to configure it in the SP connection. Similarly for a HTTP basic adapter also. So similarly for the same purposes, we will be configure it in the connections actually. Okay, so let's configure in any of the application like test sp3. Okay, so here what are the attributes we are getting? The SAML subject and then the first name, right? So in SAML subject we are getting the mail address. For first name we are getting the given name, right? So similarly we will be using the same thing. Okay, right? For this connection we are already using the HTML and HTTP adapter. We are going to map the MFA adapter also. That means like a duo MFA adapter, okay, which we have configured now only. Okay, map new adapter instance. Okay, choose the duo which we have configured. Click on next. So here we are going to retrieve the attributes from the AD. That is the LDAP. Okay, because we are going to get the given name as well as the mail address, right? So we are going to get that one. Click on next. Add attribute source. Okay, so the same thing will follow. The same thing, you will be following the same thing again and again actually. So you will be getting like some kind of irritation actually, because doing the same thing again and again actually, but you will be getting used to it actually later. Okay, choose the LDAP data store. Click on next. Okay, choose the base TN, DC equal to example comma DC equal to com, right? The same base TN you can give it. Okay, show all attributes. Okay, so what are the attributes we need to get it? Given name as well as the mail, right? Given name as well as the mail. Okay, we are going to get that attribute, right? Okay, click on next. So here this will be different actually. Okay, till now we have configured UID is equal to $username, right? But here the username will be mapped to the subject actually. Okay, the subject will be mapped to the username of the first factor adapter. Okay, because this duo adapter, it's it's not a first factor adapter, right? It won't get the username and password from the user. It can't able to get it actually. Okay, so for that one we need to use the username from the first factor adapter. Okay, so that is why we are going to UID is equal to $subject. So this subject will be later replaced with the username of the first factor adapter. We are going to do it. I will tell you where it is. Okay, so as of now this filter, right, UID is equal to username of the first factor adapter. The subject will be automatically replaced with the username of the first factor adapter. Okay, click on next. Okay, done. Click on next. Choose the SAML subject as LDAP and mail. Choose the first name as LDAP and then give a name. Click on next. We can ignore this. Click on next and then save it. Okay, I think for test sp3 we have configured, right? Now the most important part will be coming. Okay, so as I already mentioned, if you use the multiple adapters, right, more than one adapters, obviously where it will go, the SAML configuration will go for the policies, right? It will go for the policies, right? We'll do the policies actually. Okay, so I think we can move the header policy to the number 1. Okay, we can move the header policy to the number 1, and then we will do this one. Okay, so here automatically how we are choosing. So for the first factor adapter, if it is successful, it will automatically go into the success. That is, the failure is done, success is done, right? Now what we are going to do, we are going to remove this success as a done actually. Okay, we are going to remove this. Basically we are choosing the success as done, right? Now what we are going to do, we are going to enable the MFA adapter. Okay, so after successful authentication of the first factor adapter, it will automatically redirecting to the do adapter. You are understanding my, I mean, you can able to understand it, right? So before we have chosen for success as done, right? Now what we have chosen after successful, that means after you type the username and password and it is getting validated successfully, means it will be, I mean, it won't get done actually. That means the SAML response won't be getting created. Now it will redirect the user to the MFA adapter. Even MFA is also successful, means it will be going into the done actually. So here it will be success is done, failure is done. Failure means if MFA failed, means that's all. It will stop the authentication. If it is successful, means it will go to the SAML response. It will create a SAML response and it will redirect the user to the ACS URL actually. Okay, so that is the concept. Before, after like first factor authentication, that means username and password has been validated successfully, it will, I mean, the SAML response will be created and it will redirect the user to the ACS URL. That's the concept before. But here, after successful of the first factor adapter, that username and password validated successfully, in the success we have configured the duo. So that means after successful authentication of username and password, it will be redirecting the user to the duo adapter. So that means it's a second factor. So it will, I mean, the user will be getting the MFA authentication. So after MFA authentication is successful, we are redirecting the user to the done. So that means the SAML response will be created and then it will redirect the user to the next page, right? So here one more option you need to enable it. Okay, because this do adapter does not have the username and password, because I mean it is basically it does not get the username from the user, right? So it should have to get the username from the first factor adapter, right? So here you need to go to the options here. Okay, choose the source as adapter. Okay, choose the source as the first adapter. That means basically that adapter, first factor adapter, HTTP adapter. Choose the attribute as username, user ID authenticator. So after authenticated only, it will get the username and go to the do adapter actually, basically. Okay, click on done. Click on done. Okay, so now here also you can mention the same thing. Okay, here also we can configure the do adapter basically. Okay, click failure is done, success is done. Okay, options, choose the source as HTML adapter, because here we are using the HTML adapter. Choose the attribute as username, user ID authenticator, click on done. Okay, so now everything is done. Okay, now save it. Click on done and save it. Now what is the, I mean, selector we are using? This is a header platform selector, right? That is a user agent which we are using. So we have configured that Google syntax into that selector, I think so. So if it is Google Chrome, means it will take it as a yes. If it is I mean like other browser, means it will take it as a HTTP adapter. Okay, right, save it. Now go to the application. So here which configuration we have configured the do adapter? Actually I think it's a test SP3, right? So this configuration is having the do adapter. That means duo, HTML and HTTP, all the application, I mean all the adapter, this application is having the all the adapters, right? So here right click on this one, copy link address, paste it here in the next tab. Okay, hit it. So now here, as I already mentioned, it has been redirecting me to the login page. So we'll type the username and password. Type the username and password. So it should have to redirect me to the MFA. So here you could see, right, it has been redirecting to this MFA, right? But as of now, I am a new user, right? I am a new user for this MFA, right? So that is why it is asking me to set up my account in the Duo, because I don't have the account, right? So it will be asking me to the start setup. Okay, so I will be clicking on the start setup here. Okay, click on the start setup. Okay, so this is a one-time process. So this is a one-time process. That means this user ID is new to the Duo, right? So it will be asking me to register it. Okay, after that, the second authentication and third authentication, it will be automatically popping me the MFA. Okay, I will show you. I will also show you. Okay, so here mobile phone. It's obviously like, I mean, there are like, I mean, if you are using a tablet, means you can use a tablet. Okay, so here we are using the mobile phone, right? Choose the mobile phone. Continue. Okay, so here it will ask me to give the, I mean, we can either install the Duo MFA app in our mobile, or we can also get the OTP passcode from our mobile phone. Okay, there are two options we can able to do it in the Duo MFA. Okay, so here I'm using the Android mobile, so I have to use the Android here. Can't continue. Okay, so here I already, I mean, install Duo MFA. So here, I mean, if you go back to your mobile phone, right? Okay, if you are using Android mobile phone, means you can able to find this Duo mobile app, right, in your Play Store, Google Play Store. If you are using I mean, any other mobile, I mean, if you are using iOS mobile, right, you can able to find this app in a iStore. Okay, so I already installed my Duo mobile app in my mobile phone. So I have Duo mobile installed. Okay, so here it is asking me to scan the barcode. So if you go back to the Duo MFA app, right, the Duo MFA which you have installed, okay, open the app and you can able to scan the QR code actually. Okay, scan the QR code. Okay, you can scan it. So I'm just scanning the QR code. So once I scan the QR code, it is asking, I mean, it is showing tick symbol, right? That means successfully I have scanned the QR code. Click on continue. So here, once I scan the QR code, it is asking, actually, there are two type of authentication actually. Automatically send this device a Duo push, as I already mentioned, right? Duo push notification. Okay. So here asking, I will choose the which authentication mechanism to log in whenever I'm going to do it. Okay. Continue to log in. Okay. So here I can choose either sending a passcode to my mobile number, or else I can also choose the Duo push. Okay, I'm going to choose the Duo push here. Send me a, so here in my mobile I have received the push authentication, so I am approving this one. So once I approved, it is redirecting me to the ACS URL. That means like a Assistant Consumer Service URL. Okay, so this is how you can able to enable the MFA. Let's do it again. Let's do it again in an incognito window. Okay, so here I am typing my username and password. Clearly this is a first factor adapter. Okay, that HTML adapter. So after typing the first factor adapter, it is asking me to the second factor adapter. You can see it right now. I mean, before, as I am the first person to log in, so that is why, I mean, it doesn't have the user in the Duo MFA. So that is why it is asking me to the register it. Now I already registered now, so it has been automatically redirecting me to the authentication mechanism. So I am sending a push again. Okay, so I am receiving the push, approving it. So it is redirecting me to the Assistant Consumer Service URL. Now go back to the Duo MFA page actually. So here refresh it. So here if you scroll down, you can able to see the users actually. Okay, I think not here, I think so. Let me go back. Yeah, so here users is there, right? So here you could see, right, this is the user I have activated, and last login this is the last login actually. Okay, I think it is giving the GMT time zone. I don't know which time zone it is giving. So this is a last authentication mechanism. This is a 22 today. Okay, so if I click on this user, okay, we can able to select the policies actually, created and then last login. Okay, so full user logs here. So where I have tried to access it and which application I have accessed it. So here this is a enroll. This is the registration, that is the first one. Okay, so which mobile I am using, okay, and which version I am using, and then this is the user ID, and then which application I have tried to use it, Ping Federate. This is the enrolled option, and then this is the granted, I mean that means authentication happened actually, and which browser I have used it. Okay, like Windows 10, I think you can able to get it from the Chrome. Okay, so here I'm using the same Chrome browser, right? Okay, so here you can able to get all the this one actually. Okay, okay, yeah, so this is a full user logs actually. Okay, so any doubts as of now, guys? So if I want to bypass the two-factor authentication for only this user, right, I can able to bypass it actually. Okay, I can able to bypass it, and if you want to restrict the access, right, I can able to do it for this particular user itself actually. I can able to do whatever I want. Okay, so for this user, I mean in the Duo MFA, I can able to bypass it, means I won't be getting the Duo. I mean, even if I enable the MFA in the ping Federate, right, for this particular user, I won't be getting the MFA authentication. Okay, so it will bypass automatically, and if I disable this, means I won't be passing to the I mean, like I can't able to log into the application. First factor will do, but second factor it will be denying the user actually. Okay, so this will be like blocking the user access actually. Okay, yeah. So till now, any doubts, guys? If I delete this user, right, I have to register it again actually. If I delete the user here, I will be registering the user again and again actually. Okay, yeah. So as of now, any doubts till this MFA part? So this MFA is the most important thing in ping Federate actually. So there is one more MFA is there, that is known as the ping Federate. That is known as the ping ID. Okay, so this Duo MFA has been provided by the Cisco organization. Ping ID will be provided by the ping itself, but as of now they have stopped that working capability. I mean, like a free license, right? They have stopped the free license, and that's why I can't able to show you as a like like a practical session. But instead of that, I am using this Duo MFA. So for a theoretical, right, so I will show you theoretical for the ping ID also. Okay, so it will be the same thing, whatever the configuration, right? So they will be having an admin console in the ping ID also. So you will be logging into the ping ID admin console, and then instead of like you are getting the applications, right? So here you are getting the ping Federate, like you are getting these three things, right? The client ID, client secret manually, right? You will be getting the three client ID, client secret, and API hostname as a manual option actually. Okay, instead in ping ID, right, you will be getting the one document file actually, like a property file. Okay, so here if you go to the IDP adapters again, authentication, IDP adapters, create a new instance. Okay, if you go to the ping ID adapter, choose the ping ID adapter in the type. Okay, give the name, give the instance ID, click on next. So here you have to like download that property file from the ping ID website, that admin console like this, and then upload it here. That's all. It does not have any other thing. In Duo adapter, you have to give it all the three things manually. Okay, but in ping ID adapter, you have to download that file from the ping ID and then upload it here. That's all. Every other step will be the same thing. Every other, like in the policies, we have added that adapter, right? Like we have added this like Duo adapter after the success of first factor adapter, and we are also given the options, right? In the options, we have enabled that user ID, right? Here also we have enabled this options, right? Sorry, not this one here. So we have enabled, right? So all other step will be the same thing. Even here in ping, right? Here in the Duo, right, you can able to see the users, right? Similarly, you can able to see the users, and then like bypass the user for that. Bypass the authentication for the user, or disable it. Okay, you can see the logs for the user, like which device the user is using. You can also delete the user there. Okay, so everything will be the same thing. Only the most important thing is that here you will be getting the three options as manually. In ping ID you will be getting the file actually, the property file. So that is a main difference actually. But one more feature has been available in ping ID actually, that is known as the voice actually. Okay, so here in Duo, right, you don't have the voice mechanism. That means in ping ID, you will be getting the phone call. In the phone call, you will be getting the 6-digit passcode. Okay, like you are getting the 6-digit passcode via SMS, right? Okay, so that will be one more feature available in ping ID, that you will be getting the 6-digit passcode in voice, SMS, as well as this mobile application also. Okay, so this is how you can able to like enable the MFA. Okay, so any doubts guys till now? Any doubts till now?
So yeah, I just had a question. So people
Mhm.
talk about RSA, RSA IDs and MFA. So like
Mhm.
RSA is like the part of
RSA, it
MFA.
won't be. I mean, you can't able to like. I mean, you can't able to integrate the RSA. Actually, I think like 5 years before in Pink Federate they have used it, but they have removed it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So currently, right, these are the two MFA solutions you can able to enable it in Ping. Like obviously they, I mean, in any kind of organization, if you go right,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm saying in Ping Ferret you can able to enable these two, but in application perspective, right? So after that, I mean, in application perspective, they can able to redirect the user actually. Okay, like each application, if they want to have any specific MFA they are having, means they can able to like redirect the user. I mean, after authentication, we can able to redirect the user, create a SAML response and redirect the user actually. So after redirection, application team can write the code and then they can redirect for any other MFA for the user actually. But with respect to of the Ping Federate, right? Ping Federate can support this Duo MFA or Ping ID MFA actually. Okay.
Okay. So mostly like in the client side, they are using like with the DO, I think, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
Duo is, I mean, like Duo is the mostly or oftenly used case actually, or Ping ID. I mean, like it's kind of a 50-50 percentage actually. Like Duo
oh,
as well as Ping ID, they will be using. But apart from this, there is no other cases they won't be. I mean, like these are the like easiest solution to migrate it actually. This migration, right, which I did, it's I mean, if you're attending the interview, right, this is the one of the most important question actually in interview. They will be asking this migration because this is the most I mean widely used actually. Because I will tell you one use case actually where MFA will be used actually. Obviously, like MFA will be used only if you are trying to access it from the outside the network actually, right? I mean, like for example, in a public network or in your home Wi-Fi network. Okay, so your home Wi-Fi network will be considered as a public network, right? So when you
mhm.
try to access the application inside the company organization network, means you don't require the MFA because you are already in a secured network, right? You don't need the MFA for that, right?
Mhm.
So one main case, or I mean, only one case is there actually. Okay, in if you take any kind of a ping ferret, if you're going to implement it, right? Only one case the client will ask actually. That means if you are trying to access the application inside the company organization, means like an organization network or in office network, right? You don't, I mean, they won't ask for a MFA actually. Okay, basically you don't require the MFA. Okay, when you try to access the application outside the organization, okay, like basically like a public network. Okay, so in that cases means you can enable the MFA. That means like this ping ID MFA or Duo MFA. Like in the policy, right, you can use the, I mean, which selector you can able to use it actually to filter out the internal network as well as the external network. So we have used one IP range selector, right? That is a CIDR selector. So because I mean, if you are trying to access it from the public network, right, you have to come through the proxy. So when you are coming from that particular IP ranges, means obviously you are coming from the public network. So you can specify that IP range in the CIDR selector. So if it is yes, means if the application request is coming from this particular IP range, means automatically you are trying to access the application in outside the network. That means in a public network, in over the public network only. So if it is if you are accessing that particular application in particular IP ranges, means it will take it as a yes. So for that you can enable this option like HTML adapter, and success of HTML adapter you can choose the Duo adapter or Ping ID adapter. That's all. Success failure is done, success is done. That's all. You can that's all. This I mean policy will be done. If it is inside, you can choose any other adapter. That's all. You don't need to like enable the MFA for inside the network. That means like if it is considered as a no, means automatically it will you are in a secure network like a company organization network. You don't need the MFA. Okay, so for that, this is the only one use case you can able to enable the MFA, but no other cases are there. I mean, even if it is a secured application or restricted organization, right? Like if you are taking a banking services, or if you are taking any kind of a financial client, right? These clients are a restricted client of a clients actually. Okay, so their application, right, you can't able to access it over the public network itself. So in that case means MFA does not required actually. Okay, so you have to like, I mean, if your organization is a restricted one or something, like if you are a project, or if you are having a client, right, if that client is a restricted one, or I mean if they don't have the public network access itself, means that MFA is not required actually. I mean, in my career I have worked in one kind of a restricted kind of a project actually, that client. So that client does not have a, like what we can say, the client does not I mean, you can't able to access the client application, any of the application. It won't work in a public network like a Wi-Fi, or I mean in our home network or in our mobile, right? I mean, apart from that company organization network, you can't able to access anything. So you have to like either should be in the particular client office, or you should have been having access to the VPN. Okay, so then only it will consider as an internal network. So I mean, in that case, right, we never use that MFA itself actually, because it does not required when the applications can't able to access it over the public network actually. Okay, so yeah, any doubts till now, guys? The usage of the MFA. Okay, so tomorrow, I mean, like in the next one, I mean, coming classes, we will be seeing the one more adapter also, like in MFA itself, right? In the Duo adapter itself, like we have used two kind of authentication, right? First factor we have choose the HTML, and second factor we have used the success of that first factor we have used the Duo, right? So we will, I mean, there is another way of enabling the MFA actually is there. So I will tell you in the next coming classes actually, we will configure that. And then there is one more thing is there actually. So here in this application, I mean, I have used three kind of adapters, right? Like, I mean, three steps, you have to like repeat the steps again and again for each adapter, right? I mean, it does not consume more time actually. It is not a time consuming process, but if you take 100 application means it's kind of a little bit time consuming. I mean, it is the easiest process actually. I mean, it's a simple process only, but it is taking some more time, right? So there is one more feature available in the pink Federate. You can able to like, I mean, you can able to like remove this. I mean, you don't need to map all the adapters actually. Okay, you can map only one policy contract, and then everything will be handled in the policy. I will tell you tomorrow, I mean in the coming classes, we will do one more. I mean, there is another way of doing the MFA is also there. I mean, by using the same Duo MFA, but in policy we have two-step process, right? Okay, instead of two-step process we will be having one-step process. I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay, so you can able to like have a two kind of varieties actually, like for enabling the MFA, either using a one first factor authentication as well as the second factor in a success of the first factor, either, or we can also use a composite adapter. Okay, so that composite adapter is a hybrid adapter. You can map two adapters in a single adapter actually. I will tell you the steps tomorrow, and then we will see the working capability, and then we will see the policy contract, and we will also see some more features are available in ping Federate, and then we will go for the OAuth actually. Okay, yeah. So as of now, I mean, you understand the concept of MFA, as well as how we can able to enable, I mean, establish a communication between the MFA portal as well as the ping, and then we also tested it, right? As of now, you're like understanding the concepts, right? Like all the ST connection, the SAML configurations and everything, right? So like as a, I mean, as a kind of like I mean, you can also take some hands-on. So like create a configuration with configuration with the MFA, that is a Duo. Install the Duo adapter in ping. Okay, and then test the MFA. Okay, okay, so this like hands-on you can do it today. Okay, so if you have if you are having a time, you can do it today. Okay, As of now, you are getting the point. I mean, understanding the concepts, right? So, I mean, you can able to do it easily. I mean, this console, right? It's a more simple console actually. You can able to like click on next, next. Everything will be like clicking on next, 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 next. But the thing is that the understanding the concept, right? So that is the most important. I mean, most important part of the ping Federate, because I mean, creation it won't. I mean, it doesn't require that much experience actually. Like I mean, like if you are clicking on next, next, I mean whatever the hands-on I am giving, right? If you, I mean, you have to do it on your own actually, because I mean why I'm saying this means like you have to like keep on practicing actually. Like I mean, like SP connection, you have to create a 10 configuration, or I mean create 10 or 15 or 20, what I mean, like the numbers doesn't matter. So but I mean you have to like, for me, right, as of now I can able to, I mean like I know everything in a finger, I mean like I mean I know what will be coming in the next step actually. Okay, so for I mean in order to achieve that, right, you have to like practice on your own daily actually. Okay, you have to go and create configurations as much as you can, like 10, 15, even 100. That is also not a problem. You can create, you can give whatever ACS URL you want actually. Like you can create on your own abc.com, like bbc.com, like anything. You can give whatever you want actually. Okay, like whatever the attribute you need, just give any attribute you want from the SAML response. Create the SAML tracer. Okay, see the SAML tracer, and if you are having any doubts, you can let me know actually. Okay, so that is not a problem. Okay, you can, I mean, in the meantime, you can also like configure the MFA and then see the working of the MFA, configure the policies, configure the selectors. Okay, so when you practice it, right, if you are practicing continuously for 10 days, right, in the 11th day you will be getting used to it actually. Okay, but if you give some gap for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right, obviously you will get forget actually. So for continuously for I mean like 2 months, if you try to like continue the creating the SAML configuration or OAuth configuration, right, after 2 months you will be easily go and work actually. That's all. I mean you will be like a experienced resource actually. Okay, so this is the most important part. Just like configure, practice on your own continuously. So you'll get automatically, you will be getting used to it. 10 days is fine. 10 days after 11th day, right? You can able to create the SAML connection easily. Like this is the next step. You can, I mean, you can close your eyes and do the configuration actually. So that kind of, I mean, like that kind of, what we can say, that kind of hand and eye coordination will come for you actually. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much guys for today's session actually. Okay, so today's session will be like a ping. We have configured that migration. So this process, right, what we have did, so this is known as the migration of the MFA actually. Okay, so this is the most important part in ping Federate actually. Like I mean in every interview if you go, right, this MFA they will be asking this question. Okay, yeah. Okay, Manish, you are having any doubts? You are asking something?
Mm, no, no doubts. So I was
Okay.
just wondering, like, so in the client side, if we go and work, we'll be mostly working on this ping Federate console itself. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
data we get, and we'll be just doing the configurations with that, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. If some users does not know how to configure the MFA, right? I mean, obviously
Mm-hmm.
the users, like they will be new to this kind of MFAs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they will, you have to assist them actually. If the users does not I mean, you have to prepare a document actually. Like, I mean, basically you are working as a developer, right? So you will be like a ping Federate developer or ping Federate administrator. So you have to, whatever you are doing the configuration in ping, right, you have to prepare a document for each and every process actually. I mean, you will be getting used to it actually after configure. I mean, after joining the ping any organization or something like that, right? So whatever like a each configuration if you are doing, right, you have to like prepare a document, process document for that. Okay, so that the client application or everyone can able to see that, oh, this is the oh, this is the configuration. So this is how the ping Federate is working. I mean, like basically it's kind of an architecture level kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, even MFA, right? You can specify the process actually, how to register it. I mean, like whatever we did, right? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, like how to register it if you prepare a document. If any user like comes to you, means you can, hey, you can follow this document and for registration purposes. That's all. Like that actually. So yeah. Even
Oh,
service desk people can take care of it. You can give the KT to the service desk. Okay, hey, if the user is, I mean, if the ticket is coming up like this, means you can send the document to the user. The user, I mean, if still the user is facing issue, you can route it back to me, so I can take it like that actually. So basically, the most important part, whatever if you are going with the, you have to whatever you will be doing in the ping Federate console only. Okay, and in the backend files of the ping Federate, like I mean, like the backend folder which we are having, right? Like I mean, this kind of some changes will be there actually. Okay. I'll tell you, I mean, like moreover to the deep into the training, right? I'll tell you what are the backend files are there and how to change those files. I mean, basically, you don't need to change anything actually, because if we change anything means it will be affecting the configuration. But there are some files you can able to customize it actually. I will tell you what are those files actually. Okay. And how to customize those things. Okay. That will be like 1 hour session will be there for that one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but whatever you are doing in the back end, right? Like today we have uploaded that do adapter into our ping Federate folder, right? So whatever you are changing anything in the back end, you have to restart your services. Okay, so you have to be careful on that. So when you are going in a doing a production in any organization, right? You have to do it in weekends or you have to do it in the off hours. Okay, so like if you are working for an American client, what will be the working hours? Like the IST hours, right? So yeah, you have to do it in the IST hours or you can do it in the weekend. So you should not do it in the like working hours actually. Okay. Yeah, if you stop your services, right, it will affect the users actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So thank you guys for today actually. So hope you had a good session. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay.